Hi everyone, I'm Janvi and wishing a very happy birthday to AIKMS. Can't believe it's been 5 years already. And with more than 17,500 students, I think AIKMS has made a very strong impact in a lot of people's lives. I remember when my father started this, it was a WhatsApp group, and more people wanted to join, making it now a group of more than 17,000 members, and so many of them are teachers. So I loved the vision that my father has. Now I call AIKM as a university, firstly, because now that I am studying in a university here in the US, I realize what it means. So, university word comes from the word universe, which means it offers you so much to learn, not just your subject. So, the reason why this is a university is because it does not only teach music, it teaches you so much about life. It gives you a vision, it gives you a meaning. I remember in my own case, my father has this. I think one of the best qualities that I've noticed in him as a teacher is that he knows how to recognize each person's individual potential, and he makes a different plan for everyone. So, like, it's the same with me right now in the university here, but the number of students per teacher is so much less, whereas he has been able to find out students who've been so passionate and interested, and he's been able to help them, guide them through making their own unique paths. And that's why I would call it a university, because so many people have gained a vision for life. He has had the vision, and he's taught people to become more visionary. I've seen how much meaning he has added to a lot of people's life, and not just the students who are studying from AIKMS, but also a lot of their family members have benefited. So one of my very close friends, Rajiv Katpalia, has made a beautiful documentary on AIKMS showing how it has impacted so many lives from small areas and small parts of India where education hasn't reached but technology has. And my father's done the work of taking music education over there, and that's the presentation he also made at the Big History Conference this year, the International Big History Conference, and people were stunned at the work that is being done here. His vision of making students teachers. The minute they become students, they also start becoming teachers. That also makes them better students. At the same time, adds so much meaning to their life, so much it boosts confidence. And as a psychologist now, I can derive how impactful that can be in your learning. And I think I'm fortunate, and I'm sure a lot of other people will agree with me, that we are very fortunate to have someone with that kind of a vision. When I started studying psychology, he saw that in me, and students will always, I always say, students, children, followers, they will always do what a leader or a teacher or a parent said, not what they will always do what their parents did, not what they said, right? So the most difficult part of being a teacher is that you have to sacrifice a lot. Firstly, you have to be that perfect role model that students would want to be like, and he is that person. So with me also, when I was doing psychology, I would see him studying books of psychology, and looking at him taking so much interest in science and psychology, and studying and focusing on education, be it music, be it psychology, be it any form of education. That kind of interest inspired me, and I learned that from him. And as soon as I started learning psychology, I remember my first class in 11th standard. And when I would come home, even though he knew a lot more than me, he would sit there as an audience, and you would be so happy. Oh, wow, and what else? And I've seen him do this with his students in music also, that if they learn something new, if they're teaching something, he takes so much interest. He will be that person whose interest will encourage you, will motivate you, and you don't need external rewards. You start being intrinsically motivated, you're self motivated to do your own work, and that also makes you independent, autonomous. And that's the same thing that has happened with me. When I started studying psychology, he saw the vision, he saw me here, and I didn't see that. I was a child, and but sometimes I'm just so surprised that someone coming from such a small town has such a big vision, has a global vision. And he would show me programs like Discovering Psychology, and he would tell me people like Dr. Philip Zimbardo, and those kinds of people. And I would just see that and I would be fascinated, and he would also be fascinated, and both of us would be fascinated. And today I have the opportunity to study right under them, in front of them, to be associated with them, because he had that vision. And at that time, when I got into psychology, I saw psychology from those visionary lens. And that's why whenever I studied psychology, I got so much into depths. I had a crazy amount of passion for it. Whenever I would do counseling, unlike a lot of other people who might just complain about, oh, you have to go so far, we'd rather prefer something which is more convenient, I never saw that. I always looked at things with a learning perspective, because that's what I saw him do. I had seen him struggle through. To learn one small thing, he would have to struggle for months, and he gives all of those learnings and all of those teachings for free. The only thing that limits people from how much they get out of this institution is themselves. If you have more open hands and if you have a bigger vessel, you get more out of the institute and more out of his vision. And I'm so surprised to see that one person behind 17,500 students. It's almost impossible to manage, but because he's been the leader, he's been the role model for so many. He has modeled a lot of students who model more students. Um, and this is one of the most beautiful things that I've seen in my life. I've seen this academy being born, and how it has led to this place. I've seen lots of his students start from scratch to reaching among the top and where they are right now. And the same for myself through his vision, because he can see things. And that's what is a visionary, that's what is called a great thinker, is the one who can see 3 to 400 years or even more in advance. And that's what he does, not just for me, but for every student. When students are passionate about it, they get the maximum out of it. So lots of respect for AIKMS, and lots of respect for my father. I would like to pay my homage to him. Now that I'm working with people who've created Nobel laureates, and when I tell them about my father and the work that he's doing, they are so fascinated. They just want to meet him. They are in awe of the work that my father's been doing alone, on his own, and creating leaders and creating so many students around the globe that will make a difference tomorrow. So it's not just becoming the best, because that can also make you excellent at oppressing. That's what one of the priests at St. Xavier's, one of the professors, used to say. So, but he also gives meaning, teaches a lot more than just music. That's why it is a university. And students who've been in the university know how beneficial it is to benefit from my father's universe of talents and of the things that he wants to give. So be it any field, that vision and the number of people who've taken that vision from him have benefited greatly, not just in life, but also they've gone on to becoming great people in general. So again, happy birthday AIKMS, and thanks Dad for taking efforts to make an institute like this. If you don't know about the institute, you can check the link I will put in the description below.